Boom, sneak attack, everybody. Hey, welcome to a new segment for us. What we are currently calling One Shot in the Dark, where we come together and collaboratively come up for a one shot, possibly for a DM who's behind the eight ball and coming up for some content for their group. And just coincidentally, for no other reason, no real reason, Tori's taking the lead on this one. This is her idea, so Tori's the boss now. Tori, make stream go now.
Yes, this is a brilliant idea I've been ruminating on for weeks and months, and have built this structure and pitched it to. First, I turned in my draft pitch to Turner, and then when he deemed it okay, I presented it to the rest of the party of 5. We've been workshopping this. It's definitely not because I have to run a one shot tomorrow with a completely different group of people. And
lot of
write it.
lot of collaborative iteration before we get to this step. Definitely not, oh shit, I forgot to do my science project, mom. Not at all. None of that.
Not
So
the slightest.
but fun nonetheless.
That being said, Tori works best under pressure, and I have built a built a way that we're gonna do this.
Nice.
All right. So welcome to Give Me the Loots, One Shot in the Dark. The way this is gonna work is kind of a mix of discussion, collaboration, a bit of Mad Libs, a little bit of rolling here and there.
Nice.
And so kind of broke down what we need for this one shot, and also totally cool with getting some suggestions from the chat. Highly recommend it. You know, anything I can use and suck away, or what is it? Just promoting collaboration. Is that what we're talking about? It's not stealing ideas, right? This is consensual collaboration. Crowdsourcing. Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So let's get down to it. So to give you all some background and get everybody's brain juices flowing before we jump into it. So the core logistics of this game, we've got 4 PCs. At this point, I do not know anything about these PCs. Possibly, I think there's 2 fighters in there and a sorcerer, but that could change. They are level 10. This session will go for 2.5 to 3 hours. It could carry on to a second session. Could turn into a one-shot played over 3 to 4 sessions, as this has happened with this group previously. That being said, to tell you a bit about the players and who we're building for, they're of the TTRPG acronym, their TT experience level is low average side, play very infrequently, kind of a basics. This is how your turn works, need to look up spells, etc. And the RPG part of the acronym, that experience level is also on the low average side, kind of second. I'd say I started role-playing maybe last June for the majority of the group, although one of the people playing is our DM. So it's kind of a swap out. So I'm DMing a one-shot for a group that I've been playing a game with. So our DM is a part of that. So he'll probably drive a lot of the party's interaction and help guide the way a bit. Puzzles versus combat, it's pretty 50-50. They're open to whatever. Murder hobos versus... can I make an insight check on that chair? They're a little more chair leaning, so anything to get the action moving is preferred. All right. And finally, a bit of the established lore and homebrew, kind of how this one shot works, is that the original DM of this game has created a group that hires wandering groups of adventurers in this extra planar dimension, essentially just a bounty board of side quests. This is for us to try out different characters and for DMs to try out different one-shots, different NPCs, creatures, or whatever. And we get a gaggle of characters that jump into whatever world to close a portal to help out this watcher type organization. Pretty much all you need to know on that end. So the MacGuffin's kind of there. It's just get money and loot. Whatever you find, you keep. You get some sort of money at the end of it. And you just end up wherever. Sometimes you get like a vague description of like, do you want to go to a westerny area? Do you want to go to, this is kind of more cave-like. And that's more of to give a guidance on if we'd like to pick up any of the NPCs hanging around the bar to join our party, since there's only 4 of us. And in this last game we played, we did have 3 fighters and 1 sorcerer and no heals. So we got to pick up a nice little gnome cleric in the bar. All right. So, the way I have us kicking off, rather than kind of I did realize how difficult, as I was trying to get guidelines for this, how hard it is to just kind of collaboratively, without any discussion before, just let's make a one shot and a whole plot line and story and get going. So what I did is I took a chunk of intro text from a module section, took out some words, replaced them with some blank words, and we're gonna go around the table and fill it out, and then I'll read it back to you guys and we'll know where to start. All right. Starting with, on my screen, I see Anthony first. So, Anthony, why don't you can you roll a d8 for me?
Oh my goodness. Maybe.
Dice in your pocket.
I do not. They're in my other closet. Sorry.
I'm gonna queue up. Let's see, Turner or Jamie are gonna need a d10.
Okay, I will get that ready.
All right. D8 rolling. I rolled a 1.
All right.
All right.
Ooh. This is the only of those, all 8 options. This is the only one that also requires a d4 roll.
Got you. Which this will be a 4.
A 4. Okay. So our setting is in a marsh. Let's see. Turner, can you give me a d10, please?
Yep. That's a 2. Whopping 2.
All right. Feywild.
Oh, nice. I'm here for it.
Jamie, I would like an adjective, please.
Adjective?
Mm-hmm.
Slippery.
All right. Anthony, back to you with the type of flower.
3 prompts in and we're already getting sexy. Slippery. All right. What do you got?
Orchid.
Orchid. And Turner, let's get a fantasy name. Oh, actually, I did a typo. It was Fantasty, and I really like that. So everything now says Fantasty name. So I'd like a Fantasty name, please.
A fan-tasty name. Let's see. Well, let's start with the food stuff. So let's go cracker, because that plays into what came up in the Discord right recently with a mayo cracker salad, which was a spinoff. So cracker. So what cracker backwards is Recarc? Let's go Recarc.
Recarc. All right. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
The chat's suggesting
Tanaga. Yeah.
Another very carefully structured and planned part of the lore.
Yeah.
All right, back around to Jamie. Give me a type of animal.
Ooh.
Yeah, the ranger is struggling for a fucking animal.
Oh, a weasel.
God, dude.
A weasel.
Weasel. All right.
Nice. Good call. I endorse it.
Right, and Anthony, I need another fantasty name, please.
Fantasty name.
Your fantasty name is your street you were growing up on, and then the
color food you refuse to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be a single word.
That
is not a word.
Billock.
Cannot insinuate that the teenage sister is fantasty.
Yeah, that's a little rough. That is a little rough.
Yeah, Billock. Billock.
Billock. Billock. Perfect. Turner, a color, please.
We're in swamps, So, follow-up question, or am I, if I'm allowed to ask one, is the
Mhm.
color you want to stand out or blend in? Is this, do we know how, if, because off the top of my head, I'd go purple, but it feels like,
Purple?
yeah, but it feels like that
Purple's great.
maybe, all right, there we go.
And Jamie, an occupation, please.
Hmm. Construction worker.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
Interesting. Okay. And then Anthony, an adjective.
Adjective. Short.
Dorky? What'd you say?
Short.
Short. Okay.
Hmm.
And the final one, Turner, I need a title. You may interpret that however you'd like, whether that's like madam or empress or yeah.
If we're going along with the construction worker vibe, we could go foreman or foreperson. Let's go chief inspector. Chief inspector.
Chief inspector. All right.
That
I
can
just
be.
watched the Luther film on Netflix, so I'm definitely thinking.
I have not caught up with that. I
Yeah.
love me some
I
Luther.
haven't watched the film yet.
Yeah, I got to.
DCI. All right. Okay, here we go. Here's our intro, guys.
Right.
Oh, actually, with all that, I would need a final. I kind of left this fantasty name at the end. This is going to be a name for the land that our adventurers are landing in.
That. Wait.
I used up all my fantasy names in our podcast.
Oh.
Let's take one from the
yeah, there you go.
chat.
The chat.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's get some land names, guys. I wish I had some like dice with letters on them. I could just throw out.
Okefenokee, Calahoochee, Saskatchewan,
Clint.
It's right next to Flint.
Lard Island.
Yeah.
Lard Island.
Yeah.
Mobiche.
Peabody. Ow.
Thousand Island.
Oh, watch out.
Thousand Island. I love. Did somebody say Thousand Island?
Thousand Island is very
fantastic.
fantasy. I think.
We are going to
That's
the
a good.
thousand.
Okay.
We are going to the land of the Thousand Islands.
Okay. Thousand Island. Perfect. All right.
Formed when the union of ketchup and what is that?
Water is a creamy orange.
Yeah.
With bits of green. the marshy relish.
Some say it's
I've heard they
special.
invented a secret sauce.
All right. So to kick off
Mr.
our
Mac
adventure,
himself.
the land of Thousand Island shares a connection to the Feywild. Nope, it doesn't. I already fucked up my own thing. And again, we'll cut that. There's a timestamp. Turner, if you could cut this.
These
Back
are
in the-
live. These are live, Tori. These are live.
The land of Thousand Island shares a connection to the Slippery Orchid Rickark, a mysterious region of the Feywild. That realm's weasel protector, the spirit Billock, was fond of mortals and would bestow visions upon the folk of Thousand Island. However, when Thousand Island fell to invaders from a distant land, visions from Billock ended. The sages known as the Purple Construction Workers sought to reconnect the land to the Feywild, but their attempts failed and weakened the planar fabric surrounding Thousand Island. That's the single Thousand Island, just to be clear. It is a single island, Thousand Island.
Oh, 8,000 Island.
Soon, the region's people began experiencing terrible nightmares that gradually began manifesting in the form of terrifying creatures connected to an inscrutable far realm entity known as the Short Chief Inspector. Horrified by their mistake, The purple construction workers scrambled to push back the eldritch creatures with a hastily woven magical ward. Today, though Thousand Island is independent again, its magical ward has finally collapsed. The influence of the short chief inspector seeps
Yes, short
into
chief.
the marshlands once more. For years, this corruption has manifested only as dreams or the rare otherworldly predator, but recently more beings from the far realm have begun to slip into Thousand Island. Only the return of the spirit Billock might save the land, but all is not as it should be at the slippery orchid Rekark. Unless Thousand Island's ancient connection to the Feywild is restored, creatures from the far realm will overrun the land. The short fours are. The short fours are. I'm gonna throw that in there. I feel like as an alternate name, as a nickname. This is like an eldritch
S-
kind of.
SCIs, I don't believe they exist.
Perfect. Okay. So that is our kickoff. That's kind of a little intro to help guide this information as we go around. So it's not just kind of a blank slate.
It's way more clear now.
Essentially,
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, everyone has some really, I mean, I know who you would each play. We could end this with who we would each play in this adventure if you were contracted to go out and help out the purple construction workers. So,
What's that?
right.
You changed that from purple construction workers to the oh god, what's a good purple synonym? Let's see, purple.
Is aubergine is orange, right? Or is it
Violet,
purple?
purple,
and change it to builders, right? Like so change construction
Mm.
workers to builders and go purple.
indigo.
There you go, the indigo builders. Bam! You've got a fantasy. You've got somebody's first fantasy novel right
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
That is really we're 1 degree off on that.
Perfect. Yes, and I will share in the Discord after this my little chart with the blanks and the fill-ins. If anybody else would like to play this game at home and share with everyone. And just so everybody knows, a short chief inspector came from adjective and title. That was my translation of a draught elder. So that's how far off.
Very nice.
Right on target. Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. So I need 3 acts, essentially an intro when the characters land on Thousand Island. They'll meet somebody that is a representative of the organization they work for and explains what the hell is going on at this place. Yes, from the lollipop. And then in the second act, their travel and a possible combat encounter to get to the portal where all the main shit is happening. And the third act is at the actual main shit area.
So are you shooting for the traditional traditional one shot structure where you've got an environmental, a combat, and a social encounter, basically? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're starting with social, then potentially doing combat, and then step 3 is either second combat
the last
or environmental.
2, yeah, kind of one or the other.
Flip-flopping. Okay.
Mhm.
Because swamp being set in a swamp environmental is generally pretty easy to do.
It's a marsh, Turner, which are different. I mean, they're both wetlands, but
Please, by all means, please explain to me exactly what the difference is between
I
a marsh and a
did-
swamp.
I mean, you have
It's how
different-
high the water is, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and you've got different types of animals and plant life that thrive there. So the same way that savannas and grasslands are different as well.
like
I
the
did
water in a marsh here.
Read a whole thing about the 8 different habitats, and so I knew this would come up.
I'm not criticizing. That wasn't a sarcastic ask. That was a real ask.
Yes, marsh, and I'm gonna delegate to somebody to look up the definition of marsh for me, please. Thank you.
Marsh is
Moving
an
on.
area of low-lying land which is flooded in wet seasons or at high tide and typically
Mm.
remains waterlogged at all times.
There you go.
Okay. Sounds sticky. Okay.
First of all, Dreeken, we're well past the me having time to be pedantic. You're talking to the guy that researched the shrubs of fucking the Great Lakes region for the first arc when they were in the trees, and
Mhm.
luckily the pure buffoonery has exceeded the need for serious detail. Also, coming up in an arc, I spent a DM's level of time researching different architecture types so I could fucking describe a college campus. Trust me, the pedantry's still there. It's just hidden carefully behind the dick jokes like Waldo is. So anyway,
It's the architecture arc for
yeah.
sure. All right. So, first part, intro, setting. This is where you are, and this is what's happening. Anthony, what is the size of the area that we're in when we land?
So
Yeah,
you
so you don't have to
land.
build out this whole thing. It's not all on you. You could just tell me we're in an open space. We're in a room that can hold 100 to 150 people. We're on a bus. How much space is there when we enter a portal and are in Thousand
No,
Island?
I say we approach Thousand Island from a dock that's like 100 yards, 200 yards, 100 yards worth of dock.
100-yard dock. Sick. I like that. All right, Turner, what is the lighting like? What time of day is it? Any like lamp posts or anything? What are you thinking?
So you're coming into a marshy area. I'm gonna say there's gas lighting. It casts like a blue pall over the area. So we're gonna go pre-dusk, not quite sunset, but there is natural gas lighting, which creates this weird blue light effect across whatever area that you're in.
I'm not writing down that word for word to intro this session at all. I'm gonna sound
Yeah,
like a
there you
freaking genius
Yeah,
tomorrow.
there you
All right, Jamie. Tell me about your senses. What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you hearing?
I'm hearing the wildlife, the local weasels are definitely chatting up a storm, and it smells kind of terrible around here. Weasels are pretty smelly, and I imagine that it smells a lot of what's the word? Pee, like weasel pee, like just not great. And marshes in general, just kind of
Like someone's been
high
pissing in the
tide.
marsh.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like stink and funk and not great. Not a good place to be.
All right. Cool. And all right, gang, let's do a little group after kind of imagining we're on this walking out onto this walking across 100 yards of dock, hearing the weasels, that blue light glow kind of feels, ooh, this might be, we know this is connected to the Feywild, a little bit of a glow, but then that rank smell kind of goes in. What are we feeling the mood and the vibe is of this place? What's our initial thoughts of it? Is there anything happening? Anybody talking? Or is it pretty empty?
It's bustling.
A
Bustling.
bustling dock, yeah.
All right.
Robust river trade. Is that what we're saying? And the Weasel Flats.
The Weasel Flats.
You totally miscalculated by sending me down this swamp and marsh wormhole. I'm sorry. It's going to be real hard for me to focus for the next 15 minutes. That's on you. There are diagrams that I have found. Excuse me. There's an infographic I'm going to need a minute along with.
See, we've got Big Docks and Weasel Piss. Thank you, Draken. That'll be the name of this one shot. So far, that's
and ironically, my Creedence Clearwater Revival cover band as well.
Big Docks and Weasel.
Perfection. Great. Okay, now let's talk about who's this person that we're meeting when we first encounter somebody that looks like they're wanting to help out. Anthony, you want to give us a class? Let's just build up some random little bits and then figure out who they are.
It's the local cleric.
Local cleric. Cool. What species are they, Turner?
That's a good one. Let's go. Let's see. No, let's go lizard folk. Let's just go. I mean, it's marshy. If they're local, they're a local.
Lizard folk. All right. And Jamie, is this person gendered? And if so, what is that gender?
Cloaca. What? I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say
Yes, you get to decide there.
I'm gonna say
Situation.
they are a female lizard folk.
Female lizard folk, the local cleric.
Yep.
All right. If anybody starts, let's get the chat brainstorming on her name while we chat about what she's got on her and what kind of information she's going to give the party. So chat, the name is assigned to you. And then Anthony, Turner, and Jamie, what will this cleric help the party out with, depending on what they ask her? What do you think she's going to provide them with? How deep does her knowledge run?
Are we doing? So I would say
Inventory as far as things on her and her inventory of information.
I would say mostly it's vibe, like, as the local cleric who's tied into whatever deity is, whatever religion is most prominent in the region. She and how that spills over into the Feywild, which we don't know druid. Let's see. Let's look at different cleric types real quick. Game rules, cleric.
You can maybe have an arcane cleric
Life cleric?
who's
okay.
arcane cleric who's tied in with the Feywild and magic stuff.
Arcana domain. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, nice.
That they've their kind of Feywild vibe check. Life domain would have been really good too, Jamie. It has clued them into something being amiss at the crick, so to speak, and
Not the crick.
and we are saying this is the
what's amiss.
the influence. So are they trying to get the I'm sorry, take me back. Again, swamp marsh. That's your fault. Are we trying to get the flower? What's the deal with the flower?
The flowers, so the slippery orchid rakark is just the name of a region in the Feywild.
Okay.
That specific region is what's connected to Thousand Island.
Okay.
And that's where Billock, the weasel spirit, lives, and they've lost that connection. So typically from that corner of the Feywild where that spirit lives would have a connection to Thousand Islands, send the townspeople visions that were generally helpful, and now it's eldritch horrors spilling in from a different veil.
Then maybe samples of like corrupted plant life that now that they've lost that connection, something is seeping in and corrupting the plant life, or just something out of place that their vibe check has keyed them in on to present the players and start sending them in the right. Give them a really funky breadcrumb trail to follow, maybe.
Our local ranger, Jamie, where do you think that information, that little breadcrumb, would lead the party? What kind of direction is she going to give them? Whether it's options of, hey, you need to get to this place, but you can either take this route or you can take this route. Or, hey, check that smelly thing out over there. There's a weird pile that some weasels have been making.
We could give them a secret path through the marshes to lead to like a hidden grove of something.
Ooh, I love a hidden grove.
Yeah, hidden grove of marsh trees. I'm sure Turner knows what kind of trees those would be. I don't know.
Cypress.
There we go.
Or mangrove, depending upon whether you're a coastal region or not. Cypress knots are always a cool tree.
Mangroves are the ones with the big roots. They're
they kind of stand up out of the water. Cypress trees are the ones that you see most typically in like movie depictions of swamps in Florida and Louisiana that have like the roots that stick up in individual knots that will fuck up a canoe if you're not paying attention.
I love these swamp marsh names that are happening in the chat.
Swamp the Stewart. Very nice.
Don't want to miss out on Jessamina Flower Song is just a good name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just write down just to have it. Thanks, Saga. Just gonna put that in my own personal NPC name bank.
Swamp the Stewart is pretty perfect for Thousand Islands. Yeah, that is. I agree, Mr. Butler.
Recipe for adventure.
Hard to say no.
Yep.
Yeah. Um,
A
Swamp the
recipe for
Stewart.
adventure.
All right. This is Swamp the Stewart, the local lizard folk cleric. Definitely.
Yeah, a hidden grove of mangrove trees would be appropriate for manitars. Zerkfox. That's if we ever do a Gravity Falls one shot.
All right. Let's see. And what's Swamtha got on her, or what she have available, whether it's to just give the players, sell to them, offer and to help them on whatever it is they're going to encounter, which at this point, we as a collective do not know what it is that they're going to encounter. So that can help flavor a bit if you're thinking of any baddies, any types of creatures that have popped up in your brain, what might be helpful. Maybe like in the sense of adventurers who've left and didn't come back, or bodies they've found, some kind of injuries of encounters with whatever creatures that they think some sort of weapon or potion would help. Marcia Stewart, that's her sister,
Yeah.
who lives in the swamp.
So are we talking clue, or are we talking item to assist?
Items to assist. Inventory. What's on her person? Let's say a potion and an item.
Okay. Let's go to the old magic item matrix. And
Marcia lives in the swamp, and Swampa just comes to visit. She's a big city girl.
Parents got that name way wrong. Yeah.
You know,
I actually grew up in a bog.
I've been on a really. We're talking level 10, right? Yeah, bog.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. All right. Checking out again for a minute. Hang on. I think it worked. Let's go figurine of wondrous power. Maybe I've been on a big figurine of wondrous power.
Figurine of wondrous power.
What's that do?
What'd
it do?
Well, you got a couple of different options here. It depends on figurine of wondrous power, because we see it kind of on a nature theme. So our figurines of wondrous power, you get the bronze griffin, which turns into a griffin. The ebony fly, which would be great for the swamp. You could make it a mosquito. Turns into a giant fly or a mosquito. Golden lions, you could go sea lion and make them seals.
Poor seals in that marsh, just like.
Yeah. There's swamp seals. You guys ever seen swamp seals? Manatees. You can make a manatees. Holy shit. The marble elephant, obsidian steed, onyx dog. Onyx dog would be appropriate. You could do a whole Snoop Dogg thing, since we're going Marcia Stewart.
Oh no.
You could do the onyx dog, and the command word is Calvin. Serpentine owl would also work pretty well for the swamp theme.
Perfect. And I'm liking the Zork's suggestion of an antitoxin type potion.
Yeah. Also, again, Marcia Stewart would be a good source of Keogdums, or how the fuck you pronounce it, ointment. What is the yeah, there you go. Keogdums ointment, which glass jar 3 inches diameter contains 1d4 plus 1 doses of a thick mixture that smells faintly of aloe. As a action, 1 dose can be swallowed or applied to the skin. Regains hit points, cures poison, and cures disease. So it's kind of a catch-all for, especially if you don't have heals. And again, would, I think, play well with the Martha Stewart theme. She seems like a ointment lady. Lotion. It's a lotion.
Lotions, or she makes her own like hemp creams.
Yeah, exactly. Tinctures.
The local farmers market. I see this. I see it happening. All right, sick. So, wait, not Marcia. Swamptha.
Swamptha?
Marcia's her sister. Swampa. is who they
So
were.
it's,
They're
it's always
twins. They get mixed up a lot.
it's always Marsha with you fuckers every time. God damn it.
She's very topical. Okay. Act 2. The Travelin'. Where are we now? Anthony. Let's jump. Let's do this backwards. What's the mood or the vibe of the area they're traveling through?
Ooh. Let's go like gloom, kind of. Blah. What is that die?
It is a octopus D6. So I got a whole bronze.
Wouldn't the octopus make more sense with a D8?
Well, it's a whole set. So
Oh,
yeah, it's
not
just
the one. Okay.
yeah. No, you got a. It's
Oh,
always
it's
hard.
metal.
Yeah,
Chunky boys.
yeah, but they're not solid. They're like it's a.
Oh, nice.
Each face has like a octopus holding the number, which works better on the and they're a little bit oversized, but they're hollow. So, 'cause I don't like solid metal die. Sorry.
They're heavy. Okay. The Biba Anthony Turner. What's happening in this gloomy, spoopy area they're traveling through?
Traveling through a gloomy, spoopy area. All right. So are we doing? Sorry, just back. So are we doing Swamptha as the social encounter? Like we got to do some persuasion. We got to do some inciting. She's got a little bit of a swamp witch vibe that she'll sell them on something that they don't need. So we're doing that. So this is more of we're saying environmental maybe encounter
Of where she's leading them next. Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think this would be more environmental. And depending on how the interaction goes, I think what I'll do is from what we get by putting together this one act 2, I'll adjust
Yeah.
difficulty level.
Yeah.
I think is of more of what I'm going to do. So she'll direct them in the secret pathways and things, but depending on how they do, I'll up whether it's the number of creature encounters or how chunky they are.
Faux show. I think we're going through a corrupted landscape. So treat this as
Yeah, we've got those all the plants that are
yeah, the
up.
funky plants. So you got plant monsters galore that you can throw in. Let's go. Let's take a look at this real quick. No, where is
I did not say I was gonna adjust the gluten level because I can personally my gluten level has to be at 0.
Yeah, it's important to figure out during the session 0 what's an acceptable level of gluten, nut allergies, whether anybody's got any egg sensitivity during a session 0.
Yeah, I sent out that questionnaire already.
Yeah, it's very, very, very important.
In the DMs guy.
Just looking for some inspiration on. Is this the one I wanted to go to?
Ooh, Marie Laveau.
No. Here we go. Boom. So when coming up with this stuff, I'm a big fan of dipping into Tasha's for inspiration from the different supernatural regions that they've got there. I mean, there's just a chock-a-block of resources there that we can run through. So here's these are always fun. Infested. You've got countless tiny blood-sucking insects infest the region for the next 1d6 hours. Every hour, the creature in the region must succeed on a DC 10 con save or gain 1 level of exhaustion. Insects don't affect creatures that are immune to disease. Mosquito swarm.
Yes, I love this.
Oh God, this is a great one. One of the creatures one of the characters in the region must succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be transformed into a giant spider, as if by the polymorph spell. Spell lasts for 1 hour or until dispelled. It's for no fucking reason. Like they get bit by a spider and turned into a giant spider. Insert any other swamp bug in there. Let's see.
In our last session, the DM, we rocked up on those. Gosh, what are they called? Those like those brain dog things that like eat your intelligence. Yeah. So I mean,
Blink dogs
What?
or
No,
No,
the
No.
walking
no, the
brains
brain.
or whatever.
Why can't I think
intellect
of the name?
devourers.
Yeah.
Intellect
Hey, that's
devourers,
it.
yeah.
God, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's get a little Feywild mojo up in this piece. Hang on, let's dip into the realms of delight real quick. I'm sorry, did you think I was coming up with all this shit off the top of my head, guys? Fuck no.
Peek behind the screen.
I go
Yeah, he had a beholder that was summoning creatures out of the like partially destroyed the open portal that we're supposed to close. And so after like every round or so, he'd use like his legendary actions to summon up one of those intellect devourers and something with a big eye. I forgot what they're called.
just one big eye or
One big eye, and they got arms and legs.
Cyclops? Is it a Cyclops?
No. They're more scrawny. I don't think we actually fought them. I think they're just hanging out on the cave walls looking at us. And then we had to tell them a secret.
Oh,
And
the
they ate it
peepers.
or something. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those are fuck. There's one in the mines of the very first fucking starter adventure that everybody does.
Delver.
Oh fuck. Yeah, the Mines of Fandelver has one.
Nothic. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Which is a surprisingly tough creature for that adventure. That Nothic is no fucking joke. But yeah, it's and a weird good one. Like it's like a Cyclops golem, basically. No, that's not.
Put the book, The Secret.
Let's see.
I put that in my inventory. I didn't think it would come up.
So, oh, here's one. Here's a good one from the Feywild weather table. That's fun. Fog rolls in and plays harmless tricks on the characters, giving them fog mustaches, fog eyebrows, and fog wigs of many styles, perhaps even fog cloaks or fog companions. I like that one. That's a fun one.
Fog mustaches is awesome.
It doesn't have to be. They don't all have to be terrible.
I do love a little. I put on my list of things needed. I put some like red herrings and things as optional. I love a good harmless.
Yeah, well, like they compliment sandwich, compliment. That's the same thing. It's like
compliment knife, compliment.
Yeah, exactly. Just thing that's completely harmless but funny. Thing that's completely harmless is funny. This will kill you. You just smooching in the middle there, and then change the order up constantly because they start to figure it out.
Learning so many things about how Turner is planning to kill us today.
Yeah, you see the secret agenda here. Turner, if you were to say build an encounter for
like I can't. It's like, okay, here's all the shit I can't use. That's already written out. Like, right, I can't. Okay, Ixnay on the dragon.
I'm randomly choosing who goes next. Oh, that's Turner. That's you again.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the stats of this creature you're thinking of creating?
No. See, luckily, they don't have the weird shit that you guys are facing for the next 3 or 4 sessions in the fucking, I'm sadly doing. Jazz isn't here, right? You know what? You talk about pedantic. Yeah, I spent an hour and a half looking at components of ropes courses last night, like going, okay, if I were to come up with a ropes course challenge for Fake, what are some of the actual real life components of a ropes course that I can use for? So yeah. So we got
they're spoopy, corrupted landscape with funky plants. We've got.
Are they canoeing? Because it's always fun to put them in a boat and then tip them out of the boat from time to time, especially if you got people in
put
armor.
A boat. Yeah. I mean, the boat could be an option.
Yeah.
That might be what
I know technically swamps have deeper water than marshes because the diagram tells me so, but I think
canoe, so it's not a fan boat. It's not where
no, that's true. Yeah, no. That's been done.
So we got a little canoe.
What?
Is there anything wrong with the canoe?
Ooh, that's a fun one. Let's say that depends on how good their rolls are with Swamptha. Like if they beef it on the social interaction roll, she sells them the leaky canoe.
The shitty one, yeah.
Canoes. plural.
Can she also sell like canoe repair spray that like it's just just ask about it specifically?
Would you? I will sell you this canoe for this amount, or this one for cheaper. That will work the same if you buy this spray.
It could have like a mending spell on it that has like a duration. So it's like it has a hole in it,
Mm,
but somebody casts mending on it. So
Does
30 rounds.
it
mending
take too
have
long.
a?
Yeah,
No,
like a
Is
30
there
round.
like
No,
a
it doesn't
range
normally. You
of
have
like?
to modify.
Yeah.
I'm gonna modify it to. I'm gonna maybe put a couple of things on the boat that if they don't
Mm,
take Swamp Though with them for whatever reason,
there you go.
is really gonna fuck them up real quick. Area of effect helpful spells from Swamp Though.
Mm.
Lovely, beautiful. All right, what's the lighting like? We arrived. It wasn't quite sun.
I think you're well into night.
So
You're
we're
well into
night.
nighttime at this point. Yeah.
So I guess she could give them like they're gonna have torches. They'll have their 50 feet of rope. I think one of them, if they keep the same character they played last, has fire and things. I don't know if they all have dark vision, so that's something they could figure out on their own. But any other types of environmental issues before we get into actual creatures?
Yeah, I think you go giant, and I guess this is technically a creature too, but giant fireflies that provide ambient lighting, but then also
Ooh.
at some point is attracted to their lighting. So they have to make a judgment call between dousing their, you know what I mean? Like if you want them to turn off the light at some point, the rockin' of the boat has convinced that firefly that your boat is a firefly doing a mating dance, and now things are going to get really weird really fast.
Oh no.
Interesting point here is that part of the one of the tools that the group is given when they go out into these adventures is there's a fantasy name for it, but essentially a firefly inside of a little jar that helps direct them towards the open portal.
Perfect.
And changes colors as they're like closer and further away from it.
Yeah.
That like bangs up against a little jar, so they pull it out to kind of like use it as a compass. So they'll definitely, if I say firefly, they're gonna think it's connected in some
There
way.
you go. There you go.
Fucking.
Oh god. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of quicksand. So that's how are we putting quicksand in this marsh, guys? The first spot of dry land they see, maybe.
Well, no, I mean, again, remember we're adjacent to the Feywild, so it's just the water starts acting like quicksand. You can totally, first of all, anybody who grew up in the 80s loves a good quicksand trope, so I'm here for the quicksand. But they can be paddling and all of a sudden the boat starts sinking. You're like, oh wait, has it sprung a leak? No. The water around you seems to have taken on the properties of quicksand. How's that different from water? I don't fucking know. Fantasy. But it makes it seem like it gets grainy and or yeah, you can just take it as congratulations, you've gotten off the boat. You immediately start sinking. That's a little bit less. The other
You could do
option would be to
whirlpools.
put.
Those are like quicksands in water.
If I would say if you want to work quicksand in, I would work it into an element of the combat. So if we're advancing to like the final fight or the boss fight mode, have them, have it do go like Swiss Family Robinson Tree Fort, kind of on bridges above an area rife with quicksand. So they have to kind of ascend up into an Ewok village-esque kind of landscape, fight whatever's up there, or do whatever they got to do to get rid of whatever's causing the corruption that's interfering with the Fey guys' connection. And then if they get knocked off of that platform and fall down to the ground, good news is you're not taking falling damage. Bad news is because you fell into quicksand. And how far you fall on that actually determines, I think the quicksand rules actually take into account the distance you fall before you hit, which is how far it pushes you under, which is how far you can quickly start suffocating. It gets really shitty. If you're looking to add kind of a movement component or risk into the final combat, that's the quicksand is where I'd bring it. That's where I'd bring in the quicksand.
Okay. Cool.
You guys aren't in the swamp anymore, so I'm not going to do that to you.
And the last bit for this act 2 of travel, I'd love. Oh, what's happening in chat? I see some things saying perfect, ruin them.
How quickly the thirst for blood just comes charging into the chat. Wow. Ooh.
Kind of last thing I'd like from you guys in this bit, actually, last two things is very kind of uh low HP AC, very just annoying little creatures that they can knock out, kind of get a little bit of little fighting in that are more of a numbers thing than
Resource burner?
yeah.
Let's see. Let's go monsters.
The first dog goes
We-
to swarms of some kind.
Yeah. I feel like
Swarms.
we've gone to the bug well quite a bit.
Well, snakes. Snakes are
I'm thinking plants, man.
plants.
What about like snaky plant weasels?
Yeah, you got plant weasels.
Like
Yeah.
like a sloppy kind of marshy type plant that's the shape of a weasel.
Oh, you got
Maybe a
twig-
weasel, like you clean the little ducks with the Dawn dish soap, but it's like swallowed in these corrupted plants, and you clean them off, and the little weasels inside, the little good weasels.
You could use twig blights and needle blights for if you're looking for a stat block to have the corrupted weasels have that are.
Oh, you bet your ass they're not going to figure that out until they kill the first one and see the
Oh no!
twigs wither away. The sweet little weasel.
What is needle spoon?
I have a family. You see if anybody can speak to animals.
Let's see. Gas spore, violet fungus. No.
Swarm of hams.
Try flower frond.
You shoot the creature with an eldritch blast, and screams of corrupted gurgles turn into cries of distressed and confused, similar to the little weasel you met on the dock.
Wow, that went dark real fast there, Tori.
Yeah.
Dark real fast. Yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking for just kind of disposable chuff in this, the blights work well as a corrupted stat block for your weaselkin, your weasel spawn. There is what was there? I thought there was something else that was a little bit
This
more.
is supposed to make things easier. This is not supposed to keep me up till 5 a.m. making little minis for corrupted weasels out of clay.
You have a 3D printer.
I do have the printer.
You can go to Thingiverse, and I guarantee you find a weasel mini real fast.
Ooh, Nikki, some bullywugs. I've got some bullywug minis I just bought and haven't used yet. Yeah, yeah.
Or grung, if you want to go little grung. Grung are fun too because their venom does weird shit. That's one of my great regrets of earmuffs on anybody who's going to do well. No, screw y'all. Well, I can't. Never mind. That's going to come up and join the party. Never mind. But you could use grungs.
Ooh, a plant shapeshifter that tries to lure them into a trap. I think that's a good kickoff into Act 3, where they're trying to get to their final destination. Any thoughts as we move out of the marsh and what we're going into? Are we going up into the treehouse? Are we going further back into the secret grove? Is the secret grove up in the treehouse? What are thoughts here on our...
Yeah, actually put your hands together, my friend. Secret Grove, and that has been that squatters have moved in on, and those squatters are what corrupting everything, which is what's severing the tie. So,
yes, and what are our squatters? What types of squatters are you talking about?
We're talking 4 level 10s, huh? Let's see. Let's go. Let's ballpark some DC stuff here. Let's go.
Contents of a certain island.
Yes, yeah. It's dinosaurs all the way down, Saga. Dinosaurs all the way down. I didn't practice a tiny little grung voice for months in the lead up to that I never got to use. Fuck y'all. We want to take time and talk to everybody. let's see. What do we want to do here? So we're gonna go 4 characters.
And they're being our guy is we need to figure out who is this short Forzar short chief inspector.
Oh, the SCI.
Yeah, the SCI. What is he, or she, or they, or are they even behind it? Is it just they fell out of a portal and somebody else is behind it? What's this guy's deal?
I'm looking at monsters. You guys come up with a motivation.
Even with all the corruption and everything, doesn't necessarily need to be a plant monster. It could just be how its far realm kind of eldritch goop is.
You say far realm eldritch goop, I immediately go aboleth. I love me some aboleth. They're corrupting as fuck. Let's see. Why is
We were
that
lower
not-
level and met one of those. It was
Did you guys meet? Oh yeah, you guys ran away though. Very smart.
we definitely did.
I have fought an
I like
aboleth before. That is not something to play with.
Yeah, aboleths are no joke. And then
Enslave 3 times a day. Psychic
It-
drain.
and then
It turned our strongest party member against us.
then
I like
throw in
him.
throw in a couple of scum to flesh them out, which is, let's see, SU, SC.
I like him.
What are those
You
things
like who?
called?
This
Aboleth?
little aboleth, yeah, just like a sea mouth.
Let's start with S.
Mouth.
Let's go. What are they called? Hang on, I gotta go. My sources. These guys know they're in Salt Marsh. What the fuck are these things
Okay,
called?
killed one with my level 6 party, so aboleth is gonna need some friends.
Yeah, that's not enough. And when this actually plays into the corrupting influence, you can make these corrupted giant weasels, but then God, I just gotta hang out real quick.
I've always liked kind of. It's making me think of that SpongeBob episode with the big worm. Then Sandy and she fought a worm and turned out to be its tongue, and not actually the worm.
Why is this not Final Delver, Tyranny of Dragons, Princess, Sounder, Ghosts of Salt Marsh, because it's G. So, hang on, let's take a look at
Nikki,
monsters.
we are deciding our baddies. Who this mysterious
yes, scums, SKUM.
technical worm.
The scum is the what happens when you get partially transformed by an aboleth. Abolethic vassal. The scum is permanently charmed by its aboleth master, can breathe air and water, immune to frightened and charmed conditions, have multi-attack, 2 with its trident and 1 with its mind-breaking touch. +7 to hit, does 48 psychic damage, and the target has disadvantage on wisdom saving throws, which makes them more vulnerable to the aboleth's mind
Ouchie.
control. If you're looking, you just
So townspeople for sure.
Yeah, and you can skin them however you want. They're good. Low AC, beefy HP. Aboleth is moderate AC. Sounds like the bad touch I've ever. Let's see.
No, I'm thinking this hidden grove. It's gonna be a hidden valley.
It's gotta be a hidden
It's
valley.
gotta be a hidden valley. Yeah.
I don't know how we missed that. No, it's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
The Hidden Valley Ranch.
I mean, you could spend 45 minutes just on the comedy of errors of Swamtha inviting to show them her hidden valley, like very early on. That's like a whole episode of our show. Unfortunately. Fathomers are cultists who've sealed a pact with the water princess of what are they? Oh, these guys are interesting too. Fathomers. The Fathomer can use its action to change into a medium serpent composed of water or back into its true form. Anything the Fathomer is carrying, cast Mage Armor at will, Chill Touch, Eldritch Blast, Mage Hand, armor of Agathis, expeditious retreat, hex, invisibility, vampiric touch, constrict. Yeah, so if you wanted to mix up a caster in addition to the aboleth, and the fathomers are pretty cool one because it's got the serpent form. That you could turn it into a muck serpent, like composed of the corruption or whatever. Fathomers is a good one. Juvenile Kraken's probably a bit too much.
Okay. I think this Hidden Valley Ranch that's being cut off from the marsh by this aboleth, the scums, fathomers. Throw them all in there. A nice big soup of.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can have. I mean, if you really want to go lore deep on it, the fathomers originally start off as a druid that then in turn pledges to something evil, which is what draws the chief inspector in, which is the aboleth, and that's kind of the aboleths kind of see them as the original overseers of pretty much everything. So. Ooh, they've got layer actions too. Very nice. Phantasmal Force.
Yeah, if you fight them in their lair.
Yeah, and this would absolutely be the layer. Pools of water within 90 feet surge outward and a grasping tide. Now, they are typically water-based. So if we're doing up in the trees over quicksand, you'd have to mod it. But I do just the idea of one of these things, this aboleth being like a tree octopus, like you know what I mean, like being an arboreal kind of thing that pulls itself around through the trees with these big twirly limbs. It's just so fucking weird and creepy.
Not Newman's own aboleth.
Newman's own aboleth.
Newman owns the aboleth. Newman's behind it all.
Yeah. There you go. You can change all the pools of water shit into the quicksand, so it mods really quickly.
Aboleth stays in the water and commands its minions. If you want to kill it, you'll have to go underwater. I like that.
Anything that has mucus cloud is an action.
Sick. Any last minute twists want to throw in? Any puzzles to encounter at some point? Maybe quick cheats around it that they could stumble upon? Any type of barrels or crates or something that would lead to an alternative
well, do you want full blown? Do you so because we kind of went social as Marcia, we went environmental as the boat traversal, and we're going combat with this. Are you looking for full blown puzzle, or are we just looking for hey, good job, you engaged with the environment, here's your exploding barrel to give you
either something that in the last bit, like the hardest parts, if they're down, they're having a hard time fighting, some alternative way to either not have to fully kill Big Bad, be able to get out of there if they decide they just need to, because really their mission is to just close this portal. They get close enough to wherever I put this portal and do whatever the criteria is to close it. They really don't have to save this town and kill this monster. Their job, the way they get paid, is closing the portal.
Okay. Let's see. Trying to stay consistent on the theme with you can give Marcia inside stock tips. No, that doesn't work. That locks her up, not the aboleth. Wow. If we're staying, if Marcia's disposed,
obviously give it a wishbone.
Wishbone. If Marcia's dispensing the Kiogtum's ointment or whatever, and she used to hang out in the secret grove, there can be a couple of I'm stuck on barrels now. Barrels of the ointment, which cures disease, which could be like an acid to the aboleth and its creatures. So you could basically, do lotion bombs or bath bombs. It's bath bombs. Bath bombs. That would clean up the mucus clouds. If we're wanting to go barrels, plus barrels of ointment to saves the day is a funny fucking statement.
Bath bomb, lotion barrel, clear up mucus clouds. Cool. Find something in there.
If we're going, God, I'm trying to think of something a little bit more riddly or puzzly that kind of plays into it. Hold on. Headed to the Hidden Valley Wikipedia page for inspiration. One moment.
Alternatives grabbing inspiration. I'm going to have you, Jamie and Anthony, grab your dice again. And
Gotcha.
let's come up with a homebrew magic item for them. Give me some D20 rolls, one from each of you.
10.
10.
9.
2, 3.
I wasn't counting. I got it.
11.
9, 10. All right, so we've got 11, a +2 bracers of dryness.
Hey.
What does our item do, guys?
Bracers of dryness?
Our +2 bracers of dryness.
I think it provides a +2 to AC.
Mm.
And
Yes,
when
Turner.
when what's fine, given, and when clanged together like old school Captain Marvel and potentially new Captain Marvels in the upcoming Marvel movie, how big is a globe of invulnerability? Basically would create a faintly a mobile shimmering barrier springs into existence in a 10-foot radius around you and eliminates all moisture in a 10-foot area, which would be, if we're going with the scum and the aboleth, would be real shitty for them because they start taking damage if they dry out. So basically it creates a bubble of fucking the Southwest and just it's a dry heat. Basically it creates a bubble of dry heat, which would be extremely it's beneficial, like allows you to then travel through like it's not just like, oh, it's a bubble of dry shit around you. Like you can walk into a body of water and you would have this bubble of water that would allow you to not swim but walk like through an underwater area, but then also is extremely detrimental to the monsters that they're fighting in this particular situation.
Sick. This sounds like something I'm going to set up for them to possibly find maybe before they finish the battle. So let's do the rolls one more time to see what the kind of end battle. We found a treasure chest. Maybe we use it on our next mission type of thing that they can split up amongst themselves along with some coin. So let's
Another D20?
Yeah, another D20.
10.
10.
Big difference.
3.
It's a different table.
12.
10, 3, and 12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. +2 armor of 1, 5, 6, 7. No, this isn't giving me get a different list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. +2 armor of the drunkard. What, pray tell, would you like this item to do, gang?
I mean, it probably should help you.
The opposite of what the dryness does.
It has. Go ahead.
I was going to say it increases constitution by 2, but only for alcoholic beverages. Not useful for anything but drinking games.
I was going to say is extremely ornate breastplate, made to look up like a bare chest, but instead of nipples, it has spigots that act like a What's the bottle that you guys have that you never use?
Alchemy jug.
Like an alchemy jug, but it only produces different types of booze. Like the same thing as an alchemy jug, but only booze of like 8 different kinds or whatever.
And only
Yes.
from the nipples.
Only from the nipples. And
When I got to Drunkard, Alchemy Jug was before it, and I was like, man, Armor of Alchemy Jug would have been fun. So I
Yeah.
really like that this
Yeah.
got incorporated.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got Spiggles.
Diggles.
Oh,
God damn it. MVP. MVP.
And on that note, we've got our adventure.
Wow.
Spiggles.
So just real quick, because while it didn't provide inspiration for a puzzle, I do think it's worth everybody knowing. In 1949, in Thayer, Nebraska, native Stephen Henson moved with his wife to Anchorage, Alaska, where he worked 3 years in the remote Alaskan bush as a plumbing contractor. Endeavoring to keep his work crews happy, he invented a new salad dressing. Henson's success in the plumbing business allowed him to retire at age 35, where he moved to Santa Barbara, California. After a year and a half, the restless Henson, searching for some livelihood to occupy, purchased the Sweetwater Ranch in San Marcos Pass in 1956 and renamed it the Hidden Valley Ranch. In creating the menu for the ranch kitchen, Henson served the salad dressing he had created in Alaska for plumbers, which the guests enjoyed. Its popularity led Henson to mix a batch for his friend Audrey Covington, owner of the Cold Spring Tavern, which became the first commercial customer for the dressing. By 1957, a packaged mix to make the dressing at home was being offered in stores. What the fuck? Secret origin story of Hidden Valley and Hidden Valley Ranch. Had no idea. Created by plumbers in the Alaskan bush, this mysterious dressing. So there you go.
Zork Fox beat me to it, but everybody, check off your bingo card for Turner Reed's Hidden Valley Ranch Wikipedia page.
It's had a fucking surprisingly interesting backstory. I expected to go, I don't know, man, white people, what do you want? But that has some adventure to it. It heads to the
That's
Yukon.
a quest in itself.
Yeah, exactly. So, no relation to Jim Henson, another great creator of our time.
I'd also like to take this time to call out Spiggle Biddies.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the end of my stream lead. Turner, over to you.
Oh, okay. So real quick, got to follow it up with a couple of announcements. Anthony, if you'd like to go first, sir.
Sure.
Because nobody wants to follow Spiggle Biddies. That hand gesture makes a whole new fucking.
Yep. They were this big old baby. No. I wanted to announce that me, Jazz, and my brother will be returning to DreamCon this year. We got our panel approved. Email came in today, and so we will be back at DreamCon. So if you're there, hit us up.
When is that?
So it'll be, the whole conference is July 28th to the 30th. Our panel will be on that Friday, July 28th from 2 to 3.
And where is that?
In Austin, Texas, at the Austin Convention Center. Yes.
Nice. And what is that? Not Austin, DreamCon.
So DreamCon Austin is a nerd convention, mostly geared towards anime, that was started by a group of YouTubers called RDC. They're kind of these group of black guys. Well, there's more to black guys in and out, but it was kind of started with black guys and just this black crossover with black nerddom, and so it's just really kind of this intersection between kind of black culture and nerddom mixing together. And so they were lacking in kind of their UTRPG community stuff, so been trying to interject a little bit more of that for the past few years. So really glad to be having the opportunity to get to do it again.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you guys. If you are a member of the Discord and you plan on attending, or a patron, let us know. we'll make sure that we have a little special something for you for showing up, for being in attendance. If you are in the area or will be in the area in that time window, just give me a heads up. The guys we'll get some stickers or something together for the guys to give out in general. But for anybody who is a member of the Discord community, or especially patrons who show up,
Professor
if you give
Flattop said he's going to be there.
right on, dude. We'll get you taken care of, man. Professor Flat Top, send me your shirt size, probably. And then make sure you show up and represent the show. Tell everybody about it. Yeah, Professor Flat Top is an alum of the DreamCon appearance, and in fact joined our Discord shortly thereafter. So that's fantastic, man. The Explaining Austin, Texas, Korobe Nikki is a stream for another time, but it's basically what happens when hippies have their little backyard moved into by a bunch of tech bros that then, somehow merge together, Voltron together to form an actually cool place to live in a state, which leaves a little bit to desired in a lot of other ways. But a weird statistic about Austin recently, 33% of new people who moved here just recently are remote workers as part of the big COVID mass relocation and mass, the great reckoning. So a third of our people are now just remote workers who come here just to hang out and then go back to their apartments and work. So the other announcement real quick is we are going to move the stream to 8 p.m. Central Time Standard going forward for a couple of reasons. It's a little bit easier for most of the cast, I think, to get on at 8. I really do want to transition us away from Restream, which means I've got to have a little bit more prep time, or anybody else who steps up to host a stream will need a little bit more prep time to set up Streamlabs or OBS, because we've
It's also harder for Harlan to join.
Yes,
You mentioned that before this one.
Harlan has a bedtime of 8:45 on weeknights, so it'll make it a little bit tougher to be here. And Jazz will have to come up with a whole second layer of excuses, so that'll make it more challenging for him. Although he had a good one tonight, we're just giving you a hard time, Jazz. So if and Zerk Fox, that's the other two. We've got some people on the West Coast that it'll make it a little bit easier for you guys to hop in. Of course, most of these streams are available for rebroadcast later on down the road for our patrons. And anytime we have a guest or somebody on, that will eventually go up on our YouTube channel. So if you miss a stream for whatever reason, remember you can catch it on Twitch for a couple of days. If it was a stream where it was somebody where we had somebody other than the cast on, then you can find it on our YouTube channel. I don't know, whenever I fucking remember to post it. And then if you're a patron, they do show up on the Patreon eventually. We've got I got 2 lore posts that I'm working for the Patreon. A second Hunters Party, the finale of the season 1 Hunters Party, that would be coming out this weekend, possibly with another 2 episodes of Hunters Party this May. I am tracking pretty on pace with those. And then we've got the join the party videos from the first quarter, which was the Horde Mode event that we'll be posting for those videos. At the end of June, the first wave of new merch drops will go out. So everybody who's Eldrin level or higher will be getting something in the mail. So make sure you have your mailing address correct in the Discord as our thank you presents, not merch that we are selling you, because that would require different tax situations, but the gifts we are giving you for your support will be. Yes, Tori, question from
those Horde Mode things that you're talking about, is that the one that I haven't done?
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, that's the one you and your team.
Just asking.
That's the one that you definitely have a big eye on your report card for that one, but that's okay. If I was going to start criticizing the cast for not turning in stuff on a monthly basis, though, that Horde Mode would be the last place that I would go. Character studies, character of it. And yeah, maybe we'll actually get, March, April, and May. Look at that! Look at that! He ran the fuck away. Look at that! Classic. We do have a couple of months worth of character study stuff to get posted as well once the guys turn them in. So cool. On that note, gang, we absolutely appreciate. The YouTube posting goes in batches. Saga. I have we'll get that figured out at some point, but that is not the top priority. So on that note, guys, as always, look at the Instagram posting. I have like 3 probably years of screenshots to throw up. On that note, gang, we're going to wrap this one up. Absolutely. As always, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. You guys have been fantastic. Yes, 100% agree, Tori. This was a fantastic stream. I really think this is something we move into the regular rotation for a couple of reasons. One, if you actually did take notes from this, we can throw that up on the Patreon or into the Discord as a bonus for the kids there. And then as always,
I can report back on it if we don't have a idea for another stream night.
I'd say we kick it in the regular rotation when we actually get back to doing the streaming calendar. It's been a really chaotic month and a half, 2 months for everybody. And I think strangely enough, things have calmed down a little bit over the last week or so. So hopefully that stays positive. I am not sure what's happening in the upper left-hand corner of the stream, folks. Let's end it now. She's lost complete control. Talk to you later, folks. Goodbye. End stream.